So, my name is Joya, and I will be presenting my final project and presentation. So, for a project overview, what I wanted to achieve with this project, or the problem I wanted to solve, was household food waste. So, just in the household, trying not to let food go to waste. Many people don't know the expiration dates or can't keep track. So, I'd like to create this app to help solve that and help households, whether that's larger families, single families, keeping track of what's in their kitchen and how to utilize it before it goes bad. So again, this kind of application would be helpful to any household, but particularly those that are single, have children or college students, to track the food inventory and then help reduce overall waste, and also give some insights into what your household might be wasting on a daily basis and how to combat that. The main task is keeping track of the inventory, tracking users' preferences and habits, tracking expiration dates, and creating recipes as well based on users' inventory, so they can use those ingredients before they go bad. Users would be able to create their own inventory by scanning barcodes or manually entering them. They can also generate recipes and save them and things like that. And kind of rating the success based on user engagement. So how often are people engaging with the app on a day-to-day basis, and the waste reduction metrics. So tracking users food waste who are also engaging with the app. For accessibility, something that could be added is text-to-speech for visually impaired users, being able to change the dark and light mode, or have a high contrast color option, and changing the font scalability. Clear navigation and labels for all the interactive elements, so using things that are universally known, such as profile icons and things like that. So just for some annotations on my prototype, so everything on the login page is clickable. So you can click the username and password sections, and though you can't really do anything with them, it'll highlight as if you were about to type in it, and then it'll just go back to the default. The login button, and as well as the continue with Apple and Google, you can click those to move on as if you were actually logging in and go to the home screen. And forgot password and don't have an account, you can also click those just to simulate that feeling. For the home page or the dashboard section here, everything is in different sections on this page, starting with the upcoming expiration dates, because I feel like that is the most important thing. So that's at the top, and you can still click that go to navigation notification button, and it'll take you straight there, as well as there's a waste summary. And this would be something I would build upon in the future, to have another page kind of showing insights for waste summaries, whether it's month to month or day to day, week to week, and things like that. Having an inventory overview, which is just giving the user their main categories of inventory, and then they can also view the whole thing. And at the bottom, a brief slideshow of featured recipes that the user can click through, and then they can also just go to their main recipe page. And then each screen will have the navigation at the bottom. And so for this kitchen inventory page, everything that the user inputs will be labeled here. It's also numbered on the side, and then it has your total items at the top. And by default, they would just be sorted by when the user adds them. And then each item has the name, the expiration date, and the quantity. And the quantity is just based on what the normal measurements are for that product. So for example, milk is typically measured by gallons, half a gallon, quart. And things like apples, like you only count 1, 2, 3, 4. And then everything else, ounces or however it's labeled on the package. The user will be able to click the plus button to add items manually or by scanning barcodes, and they can also filter their items based on categories like dairy products, fruits, vegetables, and things like that. And just like the username and password fields, the user would be able to click that just to simulate that feeling of searching through their own inventory. And then the 3 dots for each item can also be clicked to quickly edit items, delete them, or even find a recipe for it. On the notifications page, it will show the user's total messages that they have at the moment, and then they can sort them through newest, oldest, expiration dates, their inventory notifications, recipes, and tips. I was not able to do this, but in the future I would like to add a swipe effect so that for each notification the user can snooze or delete them altogether. And for the last screen, my recipes, again we have the search bar, so the default section is just what the app would recommend to the user, just to have a whole list of recipes. And then there's a heart icon and the book icon for the user to look at their liked recipes and their saved recipes. There's also filters for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks and sides, and each recipe has a small letter. As you can see in the first one, beef stew has a D for dinner. And then the user can also quickly like or save the recipe, and they would also be able to click the recipe itself to fully view what it looks like. And then all of these annotations are also on my Figma board. And for a live demonstration, and register buttons to create a new account, send them a verification email and things like that for forgot password. And then they can log in with Apple, with Google, or just with their own credentials. So here again we have the home page. Each of these little buttons here are clickable, so as you can see, it takes you straight to the notifications, but we can go back to the home page here and see it all over again, and click these view all buttons. And then down at the bottom, clicking these arrows will do a slideshow through those 3 featured recipes. So moving to the notifications, again it's listing them as newest at the moment. Click on oldest and it will reverse that. It can also be on expiration, so now the only notifications the user would see is their expiration dates upcoming. Then there's inventory notifications, so if based on what the user typically uses in their kitchen, what they're typically adding to their inventory or maybe deleting, the app would have recommendations for their inventory, like their butter's running low, maybe get some more. Also notifications for updating the inventory once a week per se, just so that the app can continuously track the user effectively. And then recipe notifications where the user could click it again, and other tips, waste tips, for example, freeze extra fruit for later use. And each of these would be clickable, these notifications, so they expire soon. You would be able to click that and it would take you directly to the whole milk, for example. And then here on the kitchen tab, we have the search feature, and then where users can add their inventory items. And then the user will also be able to see their inventory based on these categories here, like fruits, veggies, meat and poultry, and things like that, just so they can quickly view their inventory. And they can also click these 3 dots to quickly be able to delete items or find a recipe for it, and also in the future click that item and then be able to fully see all of the descriptions of it and be able to edit it from there as well. Something that was mentioned in my user test to implement in future iterations is to reorder the inventory by name, so alphabetically and by expiration status, so by most recent or things that won't expire for a while, but also do both simultaneously. So if it's by what's going to expire first, but then also organize it alphabetically. And then here on the recipes tab, again, we have the search function so that users can search for recipes for whatever they want. And then by default, it just has suggested recipes here. And then you'll notice the letters for the category of the meal. And users can also click these little icons to quickly save or bookmark the recipes. And clicking the icons up at the top will take the user to their liked recipes as well as their saved recipes here, and then they can go back. And that is my last screen for this prototype. Again, in the future, I would like to fix all of those other, or add all those other features and add a profile tab as well. Thank you.